What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with Prospect Hot Sheet episode number 4. This is a bi-weekly series where I cover the top performing prospects from the past 15 days. Before we get into this, I want to discuss the Let's Talk Wax ranking system where I apply a rank to all the players in the top 15. You can see here on the top right, elite level is MVP, 1 is superstar, 2 is organizational star, 3 is above average regular, 4 is MLB regular, 5 is below average regular, and 6 is an MLB/platoon role on the bench. Now, the Let's Talk Wax rank is based on a player ceiling, which is them reaching maximum potential. There are also some qualifications for the hot sheet. I don't do any pitchers, and I'm thinking about maybe doing some in 2024 once I get all things settled in 2023, but it's hitters under the age of 24 and within rookie limits. Now, aside from my top 15, I've also got a ton of honorable mentions from each level, and I've also implemented some ice cold players for you to check out if you want to buy the dip. But without further ado, let's jump into our top 15. At number 15, we've got Ivan Melendez, Arizona Diamondbacks, first baseman. He's 23.3, playing in high A, so a bit old for the level. Had a big last 15 games, 3 homers, 7 doubles, and 10 RBIs. Now, Melendez is turning into somewhat of a slugger prototype. He's got low defensive upside. He's got some pretty poor career K numbers and season K numbers. Now, I'm really not sure how much juice he's going to get to at the AA level. He's got a 283 ISO in high A right now, but he's got the highest K percentage on this list at 33.8 and a pretty high K to walk ratio of 4.20. So like I said, the raw power is there. I'm just not sure how much he's going to get to at the next level. His career average is the lowest on this list as well at 237, a 216 career ISO, and a 27.4 K to walk ratio. So like I said, slugger prototype here, Ivan Melendez. If you guys want to bet on a big bat, like I said, consider his K numbers in high A and how they may translate to AA. Organizationally, he is number 7 with the Diamondbacks. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3. You can find his cards in 2022 Bowman draft for about $15. At number 14, we've got MiLB Marte, Cincinnati Reds, 21.6, playing in AA. Shortstop, hit 348 over the last 15 with 3 homers, 4 doubles, 6 RBIs, 7 walks, and 3 stolen bases. Now, you can see the majority of Marte's line is in red, which means it is really good. And I sometimes think that he gets overshadowed by Ellie in the red system. They've got so much infield talent in that organization, and Marte is just another feather in the cap for the Reds. 2023 so far, he's hitting 291 with a 212 ISO, elite K number, 17.1 K percentage, and 1.68 K to walk ratio. 8 homers, 9 stolen bases. Career numbers solid, just like the 2023 numbers, which is always something to consider in prospecting. Are the season numbers close to correlation with the career numbers? And Marte is very close in proximity with career and season. He's got a 284 career batting average, a 212 career ISO, and a 20.5 career K percentage. So like I said, he's a guy who kind of gets shadowed by Ellie in the red system. I'm not sure if they're going to hang on to him as trade bait down the road, or if they're looking to kind of build a middle infield with Marte and Ellie De La Cruz, in the middle. But he's still an excellent prospect. He's number 21 on MLB.com's top 100. He's a number 2 organizationally, and for me, he's a 1.5 on the Let's Talk Wax ranking system. I think his cards are probably as low as they've ever been at this point in time at $75. I think it was back in 2021 he struggled a little bit and they dipped, but this is probably the lowest you're going to see MiLB Marte since release. Now, he was a kid that performed during the COVID boom, which inflated his prices a ton, but like I said, $75 right now for a top tier prospect who's got a really good shot of being a solid big leaguer. He's a 19 Bowman Chrome. At number 13, we've got Christian Encarnacion Strand, Cincinnati Reds again, and I think there's 4 Cincinnati Reds players on the hot sheet this week, so pretty good week for the Reds fans out there. He's 23.4. He's been on every hot sheet, I think, to date this year. He continues to mash. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse talking about Christian Encarnacion Strand. 4 homers, 8 doubles, 15 RBIs. He's hitting for average. He's got the highest 2023 ISO on this list. 13 home runs, highest on this list in 2023. He's got the highest career ISO at 291 on this list. And the thing I mentioned last time is that Strand has a pretty wild K to walk ratio at 5.42, the worst on this list. And it's the one thing that keeps him from receiving an elite rank in the Let's Talk Wax ranking system. I'm really big on K numbers, and I recently bumped Holliday de la Cruz up to an elite rank because he's gotten his 2023 K percentage down to like 26. So he was in the 30s. He was in the 30s for most of his career. He jumped down to 26. The K numbers got a lot better, and I actually bumped Holliday de la Cruz up to elite. And the other tools are just astonishing. We'll talk about him later because he's going to be in the top 5. But the big flag with me with Strand right now is the K to walk ratio and how that will affect how his aggressiveness will play out at the MLB level. He's not in the top 100. He's a 7 in the Cincinnati Reds system. He's a 1 in the Let's Talk Wax ranking out of 2021 Bowman draft, and his cards are still starting to teeter-totter down at around $65 right now. At number 12, another Cincinnati Red, Hector Rodriguez, 19.1 playing in low A. He's an outfielder, hit .370 over the last 15 with a homer, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 6 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Now, the thing I like about Hector Rodriguez is the hit/power tool. He's hitting .303 on the season with a .239 ISO, which is really good for a 19-year-old, and he just turned 19. So 19.1 with a .239 ISO in low A is pretty exceptional. 18.5 K percentage as well. So he's a young hitter with a promising hit tool, quality K numbers. The K to walk ratio is a bit high for me. I like it sub 2, but it's not bad enough to put in blue at 2.41. So it's not bad. 7 home runs, 4 stolen bases. Career numbers are actually even better with batting average, a .315 batting average. He's got a .205 career ISO, so his 2023 ISO is about 30 points higher than his career, which could show he's on a little bit of a hot streak, or he's starting to grow into more power as he develops physically. He's got the best career K percentage on this list at 13.3, so Hector Rodriguez, definitely a guy to check out. He's pretty cheap at $25. There's just a really small sample size on him right now, and it's really hard to tell how he'll adapt to the upper levels of the minors. He's not a top 100 prospect. Organizationally, he's number 26 in a pretty stacked Red system. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2.5 just because, like I said, there isn't a huge sample size on Rodriguez. He's out of 2023 Bowman, and like I said, his cards are about $25 right now. At number 11, we've got Gabriel Gonzalez with the Seattle Mariners, 19.3 playing in low A as well. Very similar to Hector Rodriguez, but I think there's a more advanced hit tool and a little less power at this stage in development. Now, he's one of the big chases out of 2023 Bowman, so I would expect his cards to kind of go down a little bit over the next month or two as prices settle on that newer release, but they may not. $35, I think it's pretty fair. It's a pretty fair price range for what he's doing right now. 352 average on the season so far, the lowest ISO on this list, but like I said, he's 19.3. Power is usually the last thing to come. The best K percentage of the 2023 season at 13.1. He's got the sub 2 K to walk ratio. So like I said, a little bit mature, more mature numbers as far as the hit tool goes than Hector Rodriguez, but Rodriguez does have about 100 more points on his 2023 ISO, so a little more power there for Rodriguez. So they're kind of similar, kind of different. 2 homers, 3 stolen bases. His career numbers are excellent, a .318 career average, 14.6 K percentage, and a .173 career ISO. So the ISO is actually lower than his career, which means maybe he's not making his launch angles a little low or something going on there, but his numbers could pick up. He's capable of hitting for more power. He's just currently not doing it right now. So always look at the career numbers, and that will kind of give you an idea of how these players may trend if there's uncertainty there, based on season stats. Organizationally, in the Seattle system, he's number 7. He's a 2.5 as well on the Let's Talk Wax ranking scale. Like I said, 2023 Bowman for about $35. Now, if you guys are into Bowman Chrome baseball cards and you want to help support the channel, I've got a lot of exclusive content over on Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the video description. You can get Bowman Chrome autograph detailed checklist breakdowns from 2019 to 2023, all the releases, including the newest Bowman. I've got a newly updated top 100 Bowman Chrome autographs list, a top 100 Bowman Chrome autos under $50 list. I've got a Chrome First and Chrome First auto searchable database. I've also got a private Let's Talk Wax Discord server with lots of great members over there. Shout out to all of you guys. 24 hours early access to all of my video info and free monthly giveaways. Like I said, if you want to help support the channel and unlock some exclusive content, check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. Marcus Lee Sang leads off our top 10 this last 15 days. Philadelphia Phillies. He's 22.3, playing in high A, so a little old for the level. Outfielder, he hit .405 with a home run, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 10 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Now, Marcus Lee Sang has not put up excellent career numbers, but he's off to a pretty hot start. The one big red flag with Sang are the career K numbers and the season K numbers. He's K'ing at a 30.9% rate right now, and over his career, it's been 29.5. So he's done a lot of swinging and missing, but his ISO is average and his batting average right now in 2023 is close to 300. So I don't know how much power we're going to get for the K numbers. Usually the guys that rack up the Ks hit for a little bit of power, making it justifiable. But Marcus Lee Sang really hasn't shown the ability to hit for prevalent power yet. He's more of a hit speed guy. He's got the most stolen bases on this list at 12. But like I said, the K numbers are prevalent, something you definitely need to be aware of when you're prospecting and considering buying into certain prospects. He's not a top 100 rankie. He's not an organizational rankie. He's actually on the chopping block on my Bowman autograph checklist breakdown for 2023 Bowman, strictly because he's a Chrome First only. He doesn't have an auto. He's too old for high A, and he whiffs way too much for me. So his first Chrome cards can be pretty much sold for PWE, which is plain white envelope shipping. I'm sure they're under $1. But if Marcus Lee Sang sounds like a guy you want to invest in, he's going to be super cheap. Number 9, a really interesting prospect who I've covered earlier in the month. I did an actual prospect profile on Lawrence Butler after he had a pretty amazing spring training, but he was optioned out of big league camp. He's in Double A, he's 22.9, an outfielder in the Oakland A's system. He hit .333 over the last 15 with 4 homers, 3 doubles, 11 RBIs, and 8 walks. So I wanted to break down a key stat with Lawrence Butler. If you look at his career numbers, he's got a career 31.9 K percentage, a career 256 batting average, and a 181 ISO. If you look at the K percentage in the 2023 season right now, it's at 19.2, and he's hitting .308 with a 180 ISO. So it looks like the lack of Ks, maybe he adjusted something with his swing, but when Lawrence Butler is not striking out, he's doing really well. I think the improved K numbers have helped to kind of boost his average. He's hitting for a little bit of power. He's got 6 homers, 10 stolen bases right now. Or it could be just the fact that he's staying and continuing to stay hot out of spring training, seeing the ball really well right now, and it's hard to strike him out, and maybe he could revert back to those higher K rates in the back half of the season. So the difficult thing about prospecting is we can't predict the future, so we don't really know. But I do know that his K numbers have improved significantly in 2023, and it's resulting in some excellent performance so far from Lawrence Butler. Now, the bad thing is he does not have a Bowman Chrome auto, only a Chrome First in 2018 Bowman draft. Organizationally, he's number 7, kind of a breakout prospect in the Oakland system right now. He's got a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3 for now, because I just want to make sure, you know, as the season goes on, he doesn't trend towards those ugly K numbers that he's done in the past. If he can maintain, you know, the sub 20 K percentage, I'm sure he's going to continue to do more damage, and his rank will probably increase. He's a $2 first Chrome card right now, but if you want to dip into some color, it may be a good idea buying playing, low numbered or numbered cards in general is always a safe bet in the hobby. But Lawrence Butler, definitely an interesting prospect. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you guys think about him, because like I said, I'm very intrigued by how the K numbers have improved, and it's improved his performance overall so far in 2023. At number 8 is Tyler Locklear, a name that we have discussed before on Prospect Hot Sheet. And he sort of reminds me of the 2021 draft version of Christian Encarnacion Strand. He really wasn't a big chase out of 2022 draft. There weren't a lot of people on him, but since being drafted in 2022, he's done nothing but mash. He hits for average, hits for power, has pretty solid K numbers, even better K to walk ratios than Strand put up in high A. But he's had 5 home runs, 4 doubles, 14 RBIs, and 6 walks. On the season, he's hitting .322 with a .275 ISO, 22.6 K rate, 2.00 K to walk ratio. 11 homers, 6 stolen bases, career average of .306, career ISO of .252, and the same 22% K rate on his career. So Tyler Locklear, small sample size. I think his sample size is probably right around 200 to 300 plate appearances right now. But, the same thing kind of happened with Strand out of 2021 draft. Nobody was really on him. He mashed since being drafted, put up excellent hit numbers, excellent power numbers. The K numbers are kind of justifiable, and I don't see them getting out of control. He's 22.5 though, playing in high A. I'd really love to see Locklear get to double A this year and see how he handles those arms, because it's a big adjustment for a lot of players from high A to double A, and it can also help answer some questions people have about their performance, when they get to that level. So he's not a top 100 ranky yet. He's 10 in the Seattle Mariners organization. For me, he is a 2 just because I can't deny him the fact that he's hit so well since being drafted, and he's about $30 out of 2022 Bowman draft. A flash from the past at number 7 is Everson Pereira, New York Yankees, 22.2, playing in Double-A, outfielder. 405 over the last 15 with 3 homers, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, 5 walks, and 2 stolen bases. So Pereira had an astonishing 2021 season, but it's been kind of a roller coaster ride over the last 2 years as far as performance goes. His K numbers really aren't helping with his performance. He's got a 28.9 K percentage so far in 2023 and a near 30% K rate on his career. Now, the consistent things that he does is hit around 280, and he's gonna have around a 200 plus ISO. But like I said, the K numbers are a little fringy. The K to walk ratio is a 3.06, but it really hasn't slowed down his production levels in Double-A. And usually if K numbers are going to slow you down, it's going to happen in Double-A. So really interested to see kind of how Pereira develops, maybe into Triple-A, and if he does get a call up at some point, in 2023 or 2024. But like I said, he's been a bit inconsistent over his career since the 2021 season, and he's kind of a dice roll as a prospect for me. Organizationally, he's number 4 in the Yankee system, and he's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3, a safe play, as I mentioned before, because I think he's just a little bit of a dice roll with those fringy K numbers. Out of 2020 Bowman, and his cards are still around $50. They've been right around that mark for the last 2 years. I think around 2021 they were up to about $100, but they've been steady around $40 to $50 over the last 2 years. Damon Keith takes the 6th spot, Los Angeles Dodgers, another older guy playing in high A, 23.1 outfielder, hit 5 bombs, 3 doubles, 15 RBIs. Now on the season, it's really not going so well for Damon Keith. He's got the lowest 2023 batting average, a 31.5 K percentage, and a 3.37 K to walk ratio. His ISO, obviously, with 5 home runs over the last 15 days, is going to be probably above 200. It sits at 202. His career ISO is the same, above 200. He's really just playing under his career numbers right now in high A. So I'm a bit worried, as I've mentioned before, several other guys, with rough K numbers, what happens at Double A. So Damon Keith is pretty big gamble for me right now. He's not ranked in the top 100. He's 24 in the Dodgers system. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3 for me, and he is out of the fresh release of 2023 Bowman, and his cards are under $10. So if you want to take a gamble on an $8 auto that's got some juice and some rough K numbers, he's a complete dice roll at number 6. Now, before we jump into our top 5, as promised, I'm going to take you through all the honorable mentions. Here you can see the guys from AAA. Now, I'm not going to discuss a whole lot about these guys because the video would take forever. But if you want to grab some screenshots of these players, I think there's about 7 or 8 cards with all the honorable mentions on them. You can go back and reference them later. But some names that stand out: AAA, Lennon Sosa, Oswald Peraza, Royce Lewis, Connor Norby, Jordan Walker. Still under rookie limits, has been optioned to AAA, I think 2 weeks ago. Jorge Barosa hanging on there, Brian Rocchio, another guy that I really like with the Guardians, and Ivan Herrera. Now, I did, as mentioned before, add some ice cold players to our honorable mentions list, including Endy Rodriguez, Justin Henry Malloy, and Jordan Adams, who all had a pretty rough past 15 days. Lots of action out of AA. I actually had to break them down by leagues. Liover Peguero, Nick York continuing to do damage with the bat, or Elvis Martinez hit 4 more home runs. Austin Wells, another guy that's continuing to hit Kobe Mayo and Henry Davis. The majority of the guys on this list have been performing pretty much the majority of the 2023 season so far. Zach Veen is ice cold with 13 Ks. He's 5 for 37 over the last 15. And Trey Sweeney continues to spiral downhill with a 157 batting average and 17 strikeouts so far in 2023. Out of the Southern League, we've got an interesting guy, Jefferson Quiero, who is kind of taking off right now. 20.6 playing in AA, hit 6 home runs. Probably could have made a run at the hot sheet and maybe should have been on there this week, but it's hard to pick and choose when you have guys that play so well. BJ Murray continues to hit. His value is kind of going up, 310 over the last 15. Ronnie Simon and Jose Rodriguez, a guy that I really like, kind of a speed power player with the Chicago White Sox. Reese Hines, a guy I'm very well invested in, and I've got another guy that I talk with a lot. His name is Brian, who probably has the best Reese Hines collection I've ever seen in my life. And we are both holding out hope that he will stop striking out and hit some more home runs. Mason Auer and Kyron Paris, both on the struggle bus in the Southern League. Wrapping up AA in the Texas League is Jonathan Clase. This kid, I think, could be very special. He's tapping into some power. He's got elite level speed. He's 21.5 in AA. Center fielder, hit 5 homers, a triple, a double, 7 RBIs, 10 walks, and 7 stolen bases. Now, the reason he didn't make the hot sheet was because he hit 234, but the majority of his hits were extra base hits. So he's in a kind of an adjustment phase right now in AA out of 2022 Bowman Chrome. Tommy Sagasi, Drew Gilbert continues to stay hot. Daryl Hernandez continues to stay hot. Evan Carter is working his way towards elite level rankings on the Let's Talk Wax rank. And Ryan Bliss, another guy who's been on several hot sheets this year so far. Ice cold is Diego Cartaya, a guy I'm not really sure why people are so high on, especially mainstream ranking systems. He's hitting a $147 right now in AA with a home run and 16 strikeouts. AJ Vukovic, another guy struggling big time, 5 for 34 with 15 Ks. We're going to move on to High A, where James Wood was actually recently promoted, I think 2 days ago, to AA, but he tore up High A while he was still there. Max Wagner, Judd Fabian, Drake Baldwin having kind of a breakout year with Atlanta. Ryan Clifford, Blaze Jordan's continuing to hit. Wilfred Veras is definitely a sleeper guy to check out at $15. Brainer Bonacci, he's a guy that is kind of streaky. He gets really hot and gets really cold back and forth, but his value is kind of going up. He's having a pretty good start to the 2023 season. Ice cold is Spencer Jones, a guy I'm really worried about. I think the K numbers are really going to impact his career. He was 9 for 47 with 20 strikeouts over the last 15 in High A. And Trey Lipscomb is hitting 130 over the last 15 with 12 strikeouts. On to the Midwest League, Kalai Rosario hitting more home runs. He hit 4 over the last 15. Gavin Cross actually hit 6 but he is striking out a ton. I'm kind of worried about his strikeout numbers going into Double-A. James Trianos is on the board finally. Max Muncy, Carter Jensen, a guy with some sleeper power in the Royals system. Eric Brown Jr. had a big last 15, and Nathan Martorella with the San Diego Padres, another guy that I kind of had as a sleeper possibly in 2022 draft. His cards are only $7. Not a whole lot of defensive upside. The bat's really going to have to play, but he's definitely a cheap buy-in if you're looking for some budget autos. Ice cold is Khalil Watson, again, a guy I've never been very high on, especially after the incident last year. Austin Hendrick with the Cincinnati Reds, another guy who I've never been very high on. 156 average over the last 15 with 17 strikeouts. Wrapping up high A in the Northwest League is Adiel Amador, 4 homers, starting to tap into some power of Colorado Rockies' top shortstop prospect. Another guy named Jordan Beck in the same team at Spokane, 4 home runs, a triple, 3 doubles, 11 RBIs, 11 walks. So now Beck is a guy that also could have probably made the top 15. He had an amazing last 15 on our last episode, episode 3. So he's a guy who's continuing to punish baseballs. Cade Doughty, kind of a floor player in the Toronto system, had a home run, 4 doubles, 12 RBIs. Josh Kasevich is coming out of nowhere, hitting .463 with 2 doubles and 8 RBIs. Just not a lot of power in that bat. Grant McCray continues to perform despite some tough K numbers, 2 home runs, 4 doubles, 10 RBIs, 11 walks, 7 stolen bases. Definitely some speed power in Grant McCray's tank. And his cards are actually coming down a little bit in price. They were up to like $50 at one point. I think this year they're down to about $30. Harry Ford, SP, hard to pull, 20.2 in high A, hit 3 homers, 9 RBIs, 11 walks. And his cards, like I said, are short printed, so they're obviously very expensive, $250 for those singles. You probably have a much better chance of finding a decent deal than pulling him out of 2021 Bowman draft. Averson Arteaga, another guy struggling with the K, but still producing 3 homers, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 12 RBIs, 8 walks. Kind of a sleeper guy there if he can improve his K numbers. And Adrian Placencia, a no-name sleeper out of 2022 Chrome for $5. Definitely somebody to check out. Not a ton of action going on in low A over the last 15. Dominic Keegan, who's too old for A, but he's still dominating with his bat, had a good last 15. Luis Lara, Brady House starting to come around in 2023. Jaden Rudd, Carlos Jorge with the Reds, one of the bigger chases out of 2023 Bowman. Juan Bin Cho is hitting for some average, but not as much power as people expected. Termar Johnson had a big last 15, and Shailen Polanco all the way back from 2021 Bowman Chrome. Now, he's still only 19.2, and like I said, it was out of the 2021 Bowman Chrome release, so a release that's going to be soon, almost 2 years old, and he's only 19.2. There are a lot of really young players in that release who are still in their teens. A lot of busts out of that release. It's kind of an interesting release if you want to go check out 2021 Bowman Chrome. Christian Serta out of 2023 Bowman, and Ryan Ritter, another guy who's too old for A-ball, but he's absolutely mashing in 2023 and hitting for a lot more power than I think anyone in the hobby expected. Ice cold is Lisandro Rodriguez. Elijah Green continues to swing and miss, and Jet Williams is struggling big time, hitting .206 over the last 15 with 11 strikeouts. Jackson Holliday leads off our top 5, and there were some big performances coming in this group over the last 15 days. On my newly released Top 100 Bowman Chrome Autos list, Jackson Holliday is actually the #1 player. I really love his versatility. I love the fact that he's got a sub 1 K to walk ratio. He's got elite K numbers. He hits for average. He's tapping into power. He's 19.5 in high A, and I really don't think we're going to see him there very long. He could be a guy that has an accelerated path to the major leagues. The only problem is how stacked the Orioles system is with infielders right now, especially in the upper minors with, they got guys like Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westberg, Connor Norby. There's just a lot of players in that group that it's going to kind of crowd his path. But I'm definitely sure that the Baltimore Orioles are not going to let go of Jackson Holliday. He's my favorite player in minor league baseball right now. It's a small sample size, but man, it's just incredible stuff. He's got the highest average on this list at 378, the highest career average of 354. Just elite contact numbers from the left side while tapping into some significant power for a 19.5-year-old. He had 2 homers, 3 triples, 4 doubles, 14 RBIs, and 8 walks. He is a number 3 in MLB.com's top 100. Organizationally, he is number 1, and he is a Let's Talk Wax rank of elite. 2022 Bowman draft, his cards are going for around $350 right now. At number 4, an equally exciting player that I've kind of tapped into over the last 4 episodes of Prospect Hot Sheet. I think he's been on almost every episode, is Holliday and Cruz. And I mentioned before that he has gotten his K numbers into a pretty satisfying range for me at 26.7 in AAA in 2023 so far. That was my big hang up with Ellie, is how the K numbers were going to affect him as he moved up. He's always produced and struck out quite a bit, but at the major league level, I think it could have impeded his production. But like I said, he's making some adjustments. He's not striking out as much. He's hitting 304 with a 340 ISO, which are just incredible numbers. They're video game numbers. 21.3 in AAA. He's probably the player with the highest ceiling in minor league baseball right now. He posts incredible exit velocities. He can steal bases. He really does it all, and the K numbers are starting to come around. So I'm really optimistic about what Holliday and Cruz is going to do at the next level, and I really think we could probably see him in the major leagues in 2023, and if not this year, definitely in 2024, pending his health. 299 career average, 250 career ISO. He's number 4 in the top 100. He's number 1 in the Cincinnati Reds organization. Elite rank for me on Let's Talk Wax scale. He's out of 2022 Bowman. He's also the most expensive card on this list at about $500. And it's actually kind of funny to see that, Holliday's average or card value is $350 and De La Cruz is $500. I really think that they are 2 very high ceiling prospects, and the $150 gap between their cards seems like a little bit too much for me. So either De La Cruz is too expensive or Jackson Holliday is way too cheap. I'll let you guys decide that one. At number 3, we got a very interesting guy, Alberto Rodriguez. He is out of 2021 Bowman retail, so you can only find his autos in retail boxes. They are going to be paper autos. They're about $10 right now. He's had 3 pretty solid seasons. I'm sorry, I've got some construction going on at my house, and this is the only time I've had to work on this video. Like I said, he's 22.6 playing in high A outfielder. Over the last 15, he's hit 7 home runs, 2 triples, 6 doubles, and 17 RBIs. His career 2023 average is 329 with a 328 ISO. He's got tolerable K numbers, 21.2 K percentage and a 2.05 K to walk ratio. And his career numbers are a little bit below what he's doing in 2023 so far, especially with the ISO at 328. So he's definitely an interesting guy. Like I said, he's had 3 pretty solid seasons in the minor leagues so far, but he's really starting to break out in 2023. He's not a top 100 rankee. He's 27 in the Seattle Mariners system. A Let's Talk Wax rank of 2.5. And like I said, you can find his autos in 2021 Bowman retail. They're going to be paper autos, and they're around $10 right now. The battle for the number 1 spot on this episode was very close between Colt Keith and Yankiel Fernandez. Colt Keith hit for the cycle last week and holds some of the best career numbers on this list. When he's healthy, he absolutely rakes. He's got a 321 average so far in 2023, 249 ISO. Fringy K numbers, and that's not being very nice. He's got a 23.4 K percentage, a 244 K to walk ratio, which isn't bad. It isn't excellent, I guess I should say. It's not great. It's right below the fringe level for me, but his career K numbers are pretty solid, 22.5, 300 career average, 192 career ISO. So his ISO is booming this year. His average is booming above what his career numbers are. He's just continuing to get better and better as he moves on. 4 homers, a triple, 3 doubles, 14 RBIs, and 7 walks for Colt Keith. And this is a guy who is pretty much unbeknown to prospecting in 2020 and 2021, and he's had some issues with health and some injuries that have kind of held him back, but he's a guy that I've been watching for a long time right now, and he's really starting to break out of his shell. I actually have a pretty nice Colt Keith card in my collection that I'm really torn on whether to sell now or hold. But like I said, we can't predict the future, so it's always a gamble. I get a lot of messages from people that say, should I buy this? Should I sell it? Should I hold it? Whatever. I said, I can't tell you. I said, I don't have a crystal ball. Go with your gut, follow the numbers, and my philosophy with cards is if I can make a profit and I feel comfortable with it, I'll sell. So that's what I've always done whenever I feel comfortable with a profit or I get totally beat by a prospect and burned. I just try to cut my losses, or I continue to hold in hopes, kind of with Reese Hines, that maybe one day he'll figure it out. So that's what makes prospecting fun. If we could predict the future, it wouldn't be fun because everyone would know the answers. But Colt Keith, definitely a guy to check out if you haven't yet. His name's become pretty prevalent in the hobby. He's out of 2020 Bowman draft, and his cards sell for about $65. At number 1, we've got Yanquiel Fernandez, Colorado Rockies. 20.3 high A, took the number 6 spot on episode 3 of the hot sheet. Outfield prospect with the Rockies, 6 home runs, a triple, 4 doubles, and 20 RBIs. He's absolutely blasting the ball right now, hitting .325 with a .272 ISO so far in 2023. Sub 20K percentage now. Much like Christian Encarnacion Strand, Fernandez is a bit aggressive. He's got a 3.90 K to walk ratio, and that's kind of one of the flags for me with Fernandez, especially, at high A. He's only 20.3, so he's playing below the league average age, but hopefully he can take some more walks as he moves up the ladder in the Rockies system. As I mentioned on the last episode, he plays in a pretty hitter-friendly park, and thanks to Bobby Anderson for the heads up on that. Another guy who probably knows more about baseball prospects than me. He's probably even a bigger stat nerd than myself. A good guy in our Discord server who provides actually daily updates of all the players who are hot. So shout out to you again. I know I gave you a shout out on the last episode, but much deserved. 12 home runs and 0 stolen bases so far in 2023. So with Fernandez, it's pretty much one tool. He's going to be a corner outfielder with a huge bat, not going to steal many bases. He's going to hit for average, hit for power. But just keep an eye on the K to walk ratio. Like I said, he hasn't had any experience in AA yet. I think that will probably come in the next month or two if he can continue to hit the ball the way he is right now. There's not a ton of competition in the Colorado system, especially with Zach Veen struggling so much right now. So he's a guy to watch. Keep an eye on him. Yanquiel Fernandez, not a top 100 prospect yet. Organizationally, he's number 10. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5, and that could change dramatically if he performs in AA and cuts the K to walk ratio down. I could see him possibly being a 1 in the future. But like I said, we can't predict the future, so we just don't know. He's out of 2022 Bowman Chrome, and his cards are quite cheap right now for his level of production at $40. As I mentioned before, if you guys enjoy Bowman Chrome baseball cards and you want to help support the channel, I've got a ton of exclusive content over on Patreon. I'm not going to go through all the perks again, but if you want to check that out and help support the channel, I'll put a link to it in the video description. I've also got some cool stuff over on my website, letstalkwax.com, including team break guides, a first auto Chrome database where you can look up players by release or by name to find out what release they're in if you're chasing someone. And I've also got some data sheets that you guys can download in PDF format if you like to look at Excel sheets rather than listen to me talk. A quick shout out to all my Patreon level 3 sponsors. I appreciate all the support over there from you guys and everyone as a whole. If you guys enjoy my videos, don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate the views and the likes, and be sure to let me know who you're chasing in the comments. Y'all have a great day.